Protests in the Netherlands over police brutality in the US. These things are getting so crowded, Dutch police don't even dare try breaking them up, mostly for fear of catching corona. United States of Europe making fun of European news the American way. On the 1st of June, Amsterdam Mayor Femke Halsema got in big trouble for allowing a huger than expected Black Lives Matter protest on Dam Square. Most protesters showed up partly because they felt passionate about the movement and partly because it was a day off on the Dutch calendar, some national holiday that no one can adequately explain. Go ahead and ask any Dutch people, why do we celebrate Pinkster? And they will say, well, it's Pentecost on the Christian calendar when, Jesus came back and had a 3-day weekend. Now, was it responsible to gather in such great numbers in the middle of a pandemic? Absolutely not. Now we'll never know if those masks saying "I can't breathe" refer to police brutality or corona. And Amsterdam's Mayor Femke Halsema obviously made mistakes as well. She could have predicted that there would be way more protesters than expected. She could have tried dispersing the protesters in a peaceful manner. And she could have tried not being a female politician with strong opinions, because a lot of Dutch guys cannot deal with that. Look, she even joined the protest with her own anti-slavery button. Hey, relax, Dutch guy. It could be worse. She could be the mayor of Washington, D.C., who put this message right outside the White House. Meanwhile, the message Black Lives Matter is not trending on Twitter in the Netherlands because trending instead is All Lives Matter. And by the way, in honor of the city that invented the fire hose, here is exactly what's wrong with All Lives Matter. Now, if you find yourself wondering, who in the world is making English language Daily Show style commentary about Dutch news, the answer is nobody. So, if you want to subscribe, you should. Amsterdam was not the only city protesting police brutality. There was also Rotterdam, The Hague, others. They hate it when I say others. And to review, the Amsterdam mayor did too little to relieve overcrowding. The Rotterdam mayor ordered the police to disperse the crowd, and inevitably there was some violence, so maybe he did a bit too much. And in The Hague, they got it just right. Interestingly, The Hague has no mayor at the moment. But The Hague does have the Dutch Prime Minister, who, for the first time, recognized the systemic problem of racism in the Netherlands. Up to this point, he was like, yes, I thought we exported all of the racism to America when we sold them the slaves. But now Prime Minister Rutte even says he has changed his views on Zwarte Piet. Holy wow, these protests really work. Apparently, Prime Minister Rutte took a good long look in the mirror and he found a little bit of blackface still hiding on the side there. Because don't forget, it was not that long ago that Mark Rutte had this to say about Zwarte Piet.
Black Piet, and it is not green Piet or brown Piet, it is black Piet, so I cannot change that. This is an old tradition, and I can only say that my friends in the Dutch Antilles, they are very happy when they have Sinterklaas because they don't have to paint their faces. And when I'm playing for Black Piet, I'm for days trying to get off the stuff on my face.
And the occasion when he said that, it was the 2014 Nuclear Security Summit when Mark Rutte was hosting Barack Obama. You know how Mark Rutte has sign language for all his speeches these days? It's a good thing he didn't have sign language for that speech back then.
This is an old tradition, and I can only say that my friends in the Dutch Antilles, they are very happy when they have Sinterklaas because they don't have to paint their faces. And when I'm playing for Black Piet, I'm for days trying to get off the stuff on my face.
But now, for some reason, Mark Rutte has thankfully changed his opinion on Zwarte Piet. And maybe just to distinguish himself from that blonde-haired racist with the big mouth, not Donald Trump, but Geert Wilders. Geert Wilders, who took the opportunity to heal racial tensions by tweeting, "Zwarte Piet matters." If you were wondering who could possibly be more self-serving and racist than Donald Trump saying George Floyd would be smiling at Trump's job numbers, Geert Wilders was like, hold my beer. Geert Wilders, don't forget, who used to have hair like this, but he started dyeing it blonde because, got to hide my dark roots. And once he dyes his hair blonde, he wants to paint his face black. So in conclusion, Geert Wilders, whether you know it or not, you yourself are post-racial. A brown man trying to look like a blonde man trying to look like a black man.